Welcome to Survival Recaps. Today we will be recapping a film from 2019 titled, 47 Meters Down, Uncaged. Enjoy and be sure to subscribe. Let's get into it. The film takes place in Yucatan, Mexico. In the beginning we see one of the protagonists, Mia, recovering her school papers after being pushed into the school's pool by her bully, Catherine. Just then, another group of girls show up just as a distressed Mia is leaving the scene. Catherine looks at one of them and tells her that her sister is so lame. Sasha, with a dry tone, responds, saying that Mia is not her sister. Next we see Sasha waving goodbye to her two friends, Alexa and Nicole, as the trio expresses their excitement for their weekend plans. We then see Sasha enter her mother's car, with Mia in the back seat. Sasha's mother, Jennifer, inquires about what happened, noticing that Mia is upset. Sasha respectfully tells her mother to just drive, and just stares straight ahead as they drive away. When they get home, we can see more of the girls' strained relationship, as Mia storms away from her father, Grant, not wanting to tell about the incident at school. He then asks Sasha what happened and she tells him about the pool incident. Sasha then makes a harsh comment about how it's not her fault that no one at school likes Mia, completely insensitive to her stepsister's feelings. Meanwhile, Sasha's mother, Jennifer, goes to check on Mia, and we see Mia confiding in her. It is here that we learn that Mia's dad and Sasha's mom got married after Mia's mom died. So she's been struggling with the loss of her mother, on top of a new school and her issues with her stepsister, who of course is Jennifer's daughter. Jennifer comforts Mia, and we get to see how mutually loving their relationship is. Actually, both parents appear to have a very natural bond with each of the girls. Next we see the four of them at the dinner table. In the midst of dinner, Mia's father takes a shark tooth out of his pocket, saying that he found it earlier that day. It is here we learn that her father works as a cave explorer and specializes in cave mapping. He informed them that the great white shark tooth was found in a newly discovered cave passage, found just recently by him and his team, adding that it may be from a shark who got stuck in the tunnels hundreds of years ago. He gives it to his daughter to keep. He then apologizes for not being able to spend the weekend with the family due to work, as he is currently awaiting the arrival of archaeologists from overseas and other specialists who are interested in his team's discovery. Instead, he has purchased tickets for the two sisters to attend a shark viewing. They are to be taken on a boat that has lower deck with a clear window, and it is there that they will be able to see great white sharks feeding. Sasha remarks that the boat is for tourists, and Grant laughs and says that they kinda are tourists, being as though they are new to the area. Sasha, who's irritated, says that she had plans already. Her mother then tells her that she'll need to cancel them, because she and her sister needed to spend quality time together. Sasha, who has a bit of an attitude but is ultimately a respectful daughter, accepts her mother's wishes and lets her friends know that she has to cancel their weekend plans. It is now the next day, and we see the girls getting dropped off at the dock. As Mia is getting out of the car, her father jokingly tells her to not get eaten by a shark, as he drives away. Two guys nearby innocently tease Mia by repeating her father's advice while laughing. Mia brushes them off and gets in line for the boat ride. While in line, Mia notices Catherine, the bully, pointing and laughing at her. And so we learn that Catherine is also going to be along for the ride. Suddenly, Sasha's friends Alexa and Nicole pull up in a jeep, surprising Sasha. They beg Sasha to bail on the lame boat ride, claiming that they know a place that no tourist would ever find, not in a million years. Sasha hesitates initially, but after realizing Catherine, who she, like her stepsister, also hated, would be on the ride, she agreed to go with her friends. She then walked over to her stepsister Mia, and asked her if she really wanted to waste time on a boat with Catherine and her horrid clique. Mia hesitates. Sasha, acting protective of Mia for the first time in the film, tells Mia that she shouldn't care about her at all. Sasha then calls out to get Catherine's attention, and when she looks, Sasha gives her the middle finger. Alexa and Nicole also give her the middle finger from the Jeep. Next, Sasha and Mia jump in the Jeep and the four girls drive off laughing. And so it begins. The girls reach their driving destination and we see the Jeep parked in a remote, isolated area surrounded by trees. Following the lead of Sasha's friend Alexa, the girls start walking through the forest. After a bit of a hike, the girls find themselves on a cliff overlooking an enclosure with the most beautiful water. When asked how she found the location, Alexa admits that her guy friend, Ben, brought her there previously. Sasha asked if it's the same Ben on her stepfather's, and Mia's father's, research team. And Alexa laughs, as this is the truth. Not dwelling on that, the sisters wonder how they will climb down the cliff. Nicole, who we will learn is the most adventurous of the group, jumps off the cliff, diving into the water. Without hesitation, Alexa follows. Mia contemplates taking the path down instead, however, Sasha is able to persuade her to take the leap, and the sisters hold hands as they jump into the water. The girls have fun jumping in and out of the water using a floating base that we later learn was put there by Mia and Sasha's father's research team. The location where they are is one of two sites for the team's newly discovered cave. As they settle down, Mia shows Alexa her necklace, which displays the shark tooth that her father gave her the day prior. The girls then began to go through the equipment left by the research team, finding diving gear, equipped with oxygen tanks. Mia, realizing just how out of line they are, remarks that if her dad finds them he will kill them. Alexa tells her to relax, reassuring her that her father is on the other side of the site, working in the tunnels. Sasha then asks if this is the location of the entrance, to what she refers to as, the city. Nicole remarks that nothing around resembles a city to her. Mia then informs that it's referencing a Mayan city that was built underground out of the burial sites, as it was used to hide from the conquistadors when they invaded. It's now underwater because of rising sea levels. Mia then asks Alexa if Ben had ever taken her into the cave, which we now know to be a Mayan city. Alexa reveals that Ben has taken her into only the first cave, what the Mayans called the Xibalba, aka the place of fear. And she's only been there once. She describes it as a crazy, scary experience, mentioning that the cave is full of altars and statues. Nicole then suggests that they go exploring the cave for themselves. Mia is immediately against the idea, reminding them of her father, more importantly that this is his current work site. Alexa, however, confirms that her father is far away from the location they would be exploring, as they only want to explore the first cave, the one that Alexa is familiar with. Sasha is also apprehensive, saying that diving is serious. However, Nicole and Alexa win Sasha over, assuring her that exploring just the first cave won't be a problem. Sasha eventually convinces Mia to agree to the dive. Sasha then asks Mia when is the last time she went diving. Mia says it's been years since she dived, as she used to go with her father, but still she has never been diving in caves before. Sasha, who is now just as ready to explore as her friends, tells Mia it's just like riding a bike. The girls are geared up with Alexa as the leader. She tells them to follow her lead, and do exactly as she says. Nicole, however, jokingly dives into the water first. After Alexa makes sure that everyone's oxygen is at 100%, the girls dive beneath the surface, headed for the first cave. They reach the entrance to the first cave. And the girls swim in. We can see steps and intricate wall designs as they appear to be swimming through a corridor. The girls get more excited as they continue through the cave. They spot a small opening in the top of the cave, and Alexa informs them that if they run out of air in a cave, their only option is to get air from one of the small air pockets. They then began to move into a more narrow part of the corridor. Nicole jokes that Sasha can barely fit her ass through the narrow space, and Sasha jokes back that at least she has an ass. They finally reach their destination, the first entrance of the then Mayan city, now underground cave system. And then Alexa turns on a switch that lights up the cave. The girls are taken away by what appears to be an entire underwater palace, full of huge mystical statues. Alexa says that this is what the Mayans called Xibalba. Nicole starts to swim around on her own but is stopped by Alexa, who sternly tells her to follow her lead and do not deter from the group. Alexa says the group will only do one lap around what she calls the altar, and then they will head back to the surface. The girls start to explore, getting a closer look at the statues. They are tall human structures arranged in a circular pattern all over the room. Mia then informs them that the Mayans used to perform human sacrifices in this place. Sasha says how creepy that is. Suddenly, Nicole is distracted by something in the distance. She starts searching with her flashlight, informing the others that she thinks she saw something move. Alexa tells her that there is nothing down there except them. Nicole is convinced she saw something. Sasha jokes that it was a mermaid. Mia wonders if it was her dad. Alexa once again tells her that her father is nowhere near this side of the cave. Nicole isn't listening to any of them and she floats off in the distance to investigate what she thinks she saw. The other girls follow and eventually they spot what Nicole saw. It was a peculiar-looking fish without any eyes. Mia informs them that it is called a tetra-blind cave fish. No light, so they don't need color or eyes. They evolved without them. The fish swims around as if trying to hide as they try to get a closer look, and then suddenly, the fish scared them so much that it caused Nicole to swim backwards into a pillar, which crumbles, and ends up knocking down an entire section of the massive Mayan statues. There is dust and debris flying everywhere, as they are frantically searching to find each other. No one can see anything. We see Nicole calling out to the others while crying and swimming off deeper into the cave. Mia, who is blinded and yelling for the others, suddenly swims right into none other than Ben, her father's assistant. Shocked and confused, Ben asks what she is doing down there. Mia confessed that it was Alexa who convinced her to go into the cave. And that a pillar was knocked over, causing chaos, and now she's lost sight of the others. Just then, a frantic Alexa emerges from the debris. She immediately starts apologizing to Ben for returning to the cave. Ben, in a reassuring tone, calms the girls. Says that they're going to find the other two girls, and then they're all going to get out. Mia then asked if he was going to tell her father about this. Ben chuckled, and then as he was about to respond, a massive shark attacks him, carrying his bloody body away in its mouth. We hear Ben screaming in agony in the distance. A terrified Alexa and Mia swim away, and end up finding Sasha and Nicole. They inform the other two that Ben was there, and that they just witnessed him get eaten by a shark. They are now quickly swimming back towards the narrow corridor they entered through. For some reason, Nicole doesn't believe them. She tells them if it's a joke, then it's not a funny one. As she's saying this, we can see the shark swimming behind her. The girls make it to the corridor, with Nicole being the last one to swim in, and just as she starts to enter, the shark attacks. Nicole barely makes it in safely. The shark begins to viciously force its way into the narrow corridor, causing the walls to crumble. The girls are now trapped, and trying to dig their way through the rocks. Trying desperately to make it back through the same pathway they entered through. Everyone is hysterical, especially Alexa, who was the most level-headed and confident of the group. Sasha then calms Alexa down, reminding her that there is another way out of the cave, talking about the entrance where Mia's father and his team were. Alexa, still hysterical, says that the place is a maze, and she'll never find it. Suddenly, Mia remembers that Ben dropped a guide, which is a cord, that leads back to the other side of the cave where her father is. If they can find it, they'll find the other entrance. Nicole then fearfully asks Mia if the shark after them was a great white. Mia tells her it is. They all check their oxygen levels before starting the search for Ben's cord. Their tanks have between 30 and 40% of oxygen left. They are now swimming through an alternate pathway, in search of the guide. After swimming around, they find the guide, and began following it towards the other entrance. While on the way, the girls pass through a section of the cave that has human skulls scattered all over the place. Mia then reveals that they are currently at the catacombs, which is a chamber that is used as a burial site. The girls also realize that the cord stopped here, meaning they would have to make it the rest of the way on their own. Alexa, who begins to panic, is calmed by Mia, saying that they can't give up. The girls keep swimming, without the guideline. They then began shouting for Grant, Mia's father, believing he must be close by. And then suddenly, the shark appears out of nowhere, charging towards Mia. It misses her and grabs a piece of equipment instead. The girls remain very silent. The shark circles around them but doesn't spot them, because it is blind. Eventually the shark goes away. It is then that an alarm goes off, and the shark quickly races back towards them. The girls swim away towards a metal gate. They all struggle to hold it up as a barrier between them and the shark. The shark viciously attacks the gate, but eventually goes away. The girls continue to swim, eventually finding an air pocket in the cave. Suddenly, Mia noticed the sound of music being played in the distance, believing it to be coming from the site where her father is. Despite the others not believing her, she dives into the water with a walkie-talkie, following the sound. Next the film switches to a man wearing a covered oxygen mask, sawing through something in the cave, while listening to his music. His music suddenly stops, and he lifts the lid off of his oxygen mask to go investigate why. Here we see that it is not Mia's father, but instead it is Carl, another member of her father's team. While investigating, he notices that the signal is glitching, sifting through different channels, and then he hears a beeping alarm, saying to reset the signal. As he picks up the device, nearby chains rattle, and he gets the feeling that someone or something is lurking ahead of him. As he swims further towards the area, we see a shark slowly approaching him from behind. The shark quietly closes in, and just as Carl turns around, the shark attacks him, leaving splattered blood all over the ritual statues. The film switches back to Mia, who has gone off on her own through the crevice she found. She uses her walkie-talkie to let the others know that she made it to the other side. However, the music has stopped. While looking around, she finds a tracking alarm, and the mask of Carl, who was just murdered. Suddenly, Carl's dead corpse floats into her, causing her to scream and panic. She starts yelling for her friends through the walkie-talkie, but the signal is weak. She starts to swim through the area, hoping to find someone. Suddenly, she gets yanked away. Fortunately it is her father, Grant. He tells her to be quiet. We then see the shark passing by a few feet away from them. He quietly asks what she is doing there. She tells him that they just wanted to see the first cave. She also tells him that his team members, Ben and Carl, are dead. And that Sasha and the girls are in an air pocket waiting for her to return. Mia and Grant swim back to where the others are. As they approach the area, the shark appears out of nowhere, charging towards Mia. Alexa starts to make noises to distract the shark. It works, and the shark starts swimming towards her, allowing Mia to escape. Eventually Alexa also gets away. The girls and Grant then swim away into another narrow corridor, with the shark right behind them. They make it into the corridor just in time. As they swim further, they eventually exit the corridor and end up at Grant's original dive spot. Unlike the girls, who jumped off the cliff in the beginning, Grant and his team actually used a harness to lower themselves down. Everyone appears relieved. The nightmare was over. Grant shows the girls how to use his ascender cable to hoist themselves back up the cliff. Alexa is the first to go. It takes all of her strength to slowly lift herself up the cable one stroke at a time. As this is happening, Mia notices the shark quickly approaching from beneath them. And everyone starts to panic. They look under the water again and realize that it's not one shark, but 2 seconds away from attacking them. Nicole selfishly climbs up the ascender cable with Alexa still on it. The extra weight causes the cable to loosen and readjust. This causes Alexa to lose her grip on the ascender cord and fall. Her head is underwater while her body is still attached to the harness, with a shark quickly approaching her face. She narrowly survives this by lifting her upper body out of the water and getting her grip back. While this is happening, Nicole is still climbing up the ascender, and with the extra weight from the 2 of them, the cord finally falls completely. This makes Alexa fall back into the water fully submerged, with no way back up. Nicole, however, managed to jump onto the cliff, and is trying to pull herself up on the ledge. Just when it looks like she's going to make it, the rock she was gripping shifts position, causing her to fall into the water. Instantly, Nicole is ripped apart by both sharks, each one carrying a part of her off into the distance. The girls are all frantic as they sit there trapped, waiting to be killed by the sharks. Alexa then turns on the tracker alarm out of desperation. Suddenly the father realizes that the sharks are gone. Mia and her father then realize that the frequency from the alarm scared the sharks, due to their heightened sense of sound because of their blindness. Because the ascender harness was the only way to make it out of where they were, Grant devises a plan to try to descend back into the cave, stating that the cave flows directly into the sea. He warns that there will be strong currents that will be an issue for them, but if they stick together, they will be fine. He starts to give the girls encouragement, telling them he believes in them. But then suddenly, a shark jumps out of the water and grabs him. He is then dragged underwater in the shark's mouth. The girls are terrified, screaming frantically, especially Mia. Knowing that their time is running out, the surviving 3 decided to follow through with the father's plan. Using the tracker alarm as a weapon, they began swimming back through the cave, searching for the exit to the sea. Suddenly a powerful current hit them, sweeping them away. Mia and Alexa were able to make it into a side crevice to escape the current, but even with the help of Mia, Sasha was unable to pull out of the powerful current and was pulled down, leaving just Mia and Alexa. Alexa then notices the part of the cave that will lead out into the ocean on the opposite side of them. Mia doesn't think they can make it because of the current, but Alexa believes if they stay to the side and walk around to the opening, the current won't stop them. They struggle a bit with Mia slipping, but they continue on their way. Suddenly, the shark appears and grabs Alexa from the back, sinking its teeth into her oxygen tank. Alexa quickly detaches from the gear and swims quickly away from the shark. Unfortunately, because there were no other sources of oxygen around, Alexa meets her end by drowning. Mia was then swept away by the current. She began screaming as she is being spent and dragged down, thinking these are her last moments. Suddenly, a hand reaches out and pulls her out of current. It was Sasha, who had also survived the current and was still alive. Sasha was frantic, believing they would just be stuck there until their oxygen depletes. But Mia, who lost her dad and Alexa, was determined to find the way out. Both of them were critically low on oxygen, so they had to move quickly. The girls began swimming, first reaching what appeared to be a dead end. After looking around, they found a small crevice with sunlight shining through. Mia thought the space was too narrow for them, saying there must be another way. Suddenly, one of the sharks appeared, forcing them into the narrow tunnel, and they began swimming towards the light. With the surface of the sea within their reach, and their oxygen basically gone, they decide to remove their equipment and swim without oxygen to the ocean opening. Because the tanks were slowing them down and too bulky for the tunnel. Sasha removes her equipment first and starts to swim the short distance to the surface, but when Mia goes to remove hers, her leg gets stuck in one of the straps, after she already discarded her oxygen. Mia uses the air pockets above her, just like Alexa told her to do. And with the help of Sasha turning around to help her, she's able to free her leg, and they both swim out of the cave into the ocean. Mia and Sasha began to celebrate and they notice a nearby boat. They began to flag down the boat, but realize they have to swim closer because they're too far away. As the sisters swim towards the boat, we see a worker wearing headphones, and dumping what looks like blood into the ocean. To their horror, the girls quickly realize that this boat is none other than the shark viewing boat that they were supposed to board earlier. The boat employee is dumping shark food in the water so that the passengers can see great white sharks while they feed. Thinking quickly, Mia and Sasha dive deep underwater to alert the passengers on the bottom deck, who are looking through the clear window, that they are in the water and need help. Ironically, Catherine is among the first people to spot them. The passengers on the boat rush to the top deck to help. Mia and Sasha return to the surface, and Mia quickly climbs on the boat. As Sasha starts to step on the ladder, she's quickly snatched away by a shark, and dragged underwater. Mia pushes everyone on the boat out of her way, and goes to grab a flare gun from the emergency kit. She then jumps into the water without hesitation to save her sister. She catches up to them, and shoots the shark with the flare gun, freeing Sasha from the shark's mouth. The two once again start to make their way to the boat. Before Mia can reach the boat's ladder, we are shocked as another shark jumps out of the water, dragging her in its mouth. As the shark is dragging her deeper underwater, Mia starts to fight and punch the shark. She takes the shark tooth on her necklace, the one given to her by her father, and she began stabbing the shark over and over, until finally, it releases her. Triumphant, Mia swims back to the boat and starts climbing the ladder yet again. This time, she only narrowly escapes, as we see yet another shark jump out of the water, missing her by a second. While back on the boat, both girls collapse into each other's arms, now safe, both wounded by sharks, and both aware of the new bond that has formed between them. This has been Survival Recaps. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.